engineering consulting, established in 2011. Loan is a rich, experienced company in the energy sector. It has engaged in hundreds of large-scale RE projects in Vietnam, from the investment concept to COD. Also, it has more than 175 utilities PV plant projects reaching accumulated capacity 24.6 gigawatts and 10.4 gigawatts for wind power. It's going to deliver with us a case study of investment effectiveness in rooftop solar investment in Vietnam. Hi, Tien. I leave my floor to you.
Okay, I got it. Thank you, Jessica. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Tien from Vatec, engineering consultant in renewable energy sector in Vietnam. So today I'm here to share one of the topic, but I think the topic is I think the majority of the audience here is Vietnamese. So please allow me to make the presentation in Vietnamese language. I think that's better. Thank you. Vâng, xin chào hết tất cả mọi người. Tôi là Tien.
Hi guys, I'm Tien from Vatec.
Tien, yes. Can you share a screen now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
Today I will be sharing with you on a topic called the case study of investment effectiveness of a rooftop solar project in Vietnam, a real project at a real place. And the goal is for you to see the level of investment effectiveness when it comes to rooftop solar projects at different places, at different interest rates. I will talk about three things. First is rooftop solar situation in Vietnam. Second, the main point is a case study of the rooftop solar in Vietnam in Long An. And we use assumptions here, but these assumptions are very close to our real experience. And finally, I'll touch briefly on Vatec. Let me talk about rooftop in Vietnam. I'm sure that you have done a lot of research and you have listened to other speakers on history and the status quo. So I'll just go quickly over it. Many of you here have interest in rooftop, and it is unfortunate for us all that there is no established legal framework since the beginning of 2021 until now. It's more than a year. Right now, the status quo is that demand and supply is out of order, is out of balance because of the pandemic. So there are fewer activities in manufacturing, in production due to COVID restrictions, and because of that, supply is higher than demand, and a series of plants, including hydro and traditional PV plants, are facing oversupply. The other thing is that rooftop is ultimately very crucial to Vietnam. It serves the needs right here. We don't need extra surface. We don't have to have a very big investment, and it will also remove burdens from EVN system, and therefore I believe that the government will eventually arrive at a framework for us. Now let's talk about feed-in tariff. We have heard a few times now. We also listen to the draft. The newest draft allowed us to sell 20%. However, the fit is not really good. It's 5.95 cents. And the other thing is that surplus power will be limited at 20%. That will lead in, for example, on Sunday or national holidays. At this point in time, you can only export 20%. That would be a disadvantage for rooftop solar. What you're seeing here is a flyer that I got from EVN Khánh Hòa. It shows that rooftop solar in the mind of EVN and MOIT, they are supporting it. On these flyers, you see the advantages, and you see that they are trying to encourage households and individuals to adopt and to invest in rooftop power, solar. However, curtailment is still a problem that we are seeing here. Now, let me talk about the case study. I will use the following assumptions. First, we are doing this in Bến Lức, Long An, a steel production plant. We also use the following meteorological data: the area, the capacity, humidity. The capacity is almost 1 megawatt peak on the area of 4,600 square meter, and the assumption that there's no shading, there's no curtailment. So these are the assumptions that we are putting in so that we can simplify a few things in this equation. If you need more details,
số DC trên AC là 1.12, số lượng tấm PV là 1710, ứng với loại tấm 580W, 8 inverter 110 kW. Chúng tôi dùng công cụ tính toán thông thường, đó là PV6, để mà tính toán yield, tính nói cái sản lượng điện năng ứng với các cái thông số về tổn thất mà mặc định các tổn thất này tương ứng với cái địa điểm mà chúng tôi tính toán, và là chẳng hạn như lượng bụi cũng như là các cái thiết kế tối ưu khác về mặt hệ thống. Các thông số đầu vào khác về tổng mức đầu tư của dự án, ở đây chúng tôi đưa cái mức cũng thiên về trung bình và cũng tương đối đủ đầu tư, một hệ thống tốt.
Sorry, Tien, I'm sorry to bother you. Dear audience, we got a little bit technical issues about the translation service. Just maybe wait a second. Thank you. Going ahead. Thank you so much, Tien.
Okay. Về tổng mức đầu tư, tôi giả định cái input đầu vào ở đây là 13 tỷ, hơn 13 tỷ Việt Nam đồng, ứng với đô la là 568.692 đô la cho 1 megawatt peak. Con số này đã bao gồm VAT và vốn tự có là 30%, vốn vay của ngân hàng là 70%, với các kịch bản vay khác nhau. Kịch bản thứ nhất là 10% vay thương mại, 10% một năm. Kịch bản thứ hai là cũng vay thương mại, mức 5,5% một năm, vay bằng USD. Nhưng với cái mức này thì vay về nước ngoài, chứ không Việt Nam thì không khó có được cái mức này. Tương tự như thế, kịch bản thứ ba đó là 2,5% vay ưu đãi bằng đồng đô, cũng vay ở nước ngoài. Và chúng tôi có xem xét đến cái thực tế là các nhà máy nhà máy không hoạt động vào các ngày chủ nhật và các ngày lễ. Về mức chiết khấu cho chủ máy, chúng tôi xem xét ở ba mức khác nhau: 10%, 15% một năm và 20% một năm, để xem với những input như thế này để xem là cái hiệu quả.
This is for us to see what the effectiveness of the investment will be. Now let's first look at the graph. We got this on 8th of January from a plant in Vietnam. We have the power curve down here, green, from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Đường tải ứng với 50% công suất, có nghĩa là điện mặt trời ở đây được
What shows here is that solar capacity is always lower than the maximum capacity.
Và các cái đường tiếp theo là 80%, 70%, 60% và đường màu đỏ là 50%. Tôi chia sẻ cái hình này cốt là để chúng ta biết được cái tải của nhà máy ở những cái thời gian khác nhau thì nó sẽ khác nhau. Và chúng ta thiết kế làm sao hệ thống điện mặt trời chúng ta để giảm thiểu cái lượng điện bán lên lưới với cái giá nó không được tốt là 5,95 cent theo dự thảo, thì chúng ta thiết kế làm sao cái hệ thống của chúng ta cái công suất phát cao nhất sẽ nhỏ hơn hoặc là bằng cái phụ tải min. Đó là cái điều mà chúng ta nên thiết kế cái phần engineering. Việc này thì chúng ta cũng mở ra một cái hướng mới nữa là chúng ta sẽ xem xét đến cái yếu tố là tích trữ năng lượng trong trường hợp mà lượng điện nó vượt hơn 20% phát lên lưới mà bị giới hạn thì chúng ta có thể tích trữ. Tuy nhiên cái việc này thì hiệu quả kinh tế chúng ta cũng phải nghiên cứu.
However, this might affect our investment effectiveness. So now we will not be looking at this. Now for physicists, this is the calculation that come out of physicists. Performance ratio PR is 81%. For capacity, production capacity, there are 3 scenarios here. The thing is that we need to know what is the production at peak time, at normal time, and on Sunday and holidays, because that will be affected by curtailment. We need to know how much will we export to the system on peak time, on normal time, and what will it be on holidays. For peak time, it will be around 306 megawatt. per hour per year. For normal time, it will be 861. For holidays, it will be 243. So these are the numbers that we take the probability of 75%. However, if you choose a different number, 50%, for example, then the number will be better. However, in order for it to be safe for the plans and the investment, we suggest probability of 75%. Now, let's take a look at the different financial criteria. So with the interest rate of 10% per year, we will the first number is NPV, second FIRR, third BC, third THV. So now let's take a look at the units of NPV that will be billion Việt Nam đồng. We have 10% here. It means that they are selling it at a discount. At 10%, 15%, 20%. These are the three scenarios. How will it play out? What kind of impact will it have? So for net present value, we see that the net present values are positive, not negative. So it's worth investment. For FIRR, it's 26, 24, 22%, good numbers. BOC, it's 1.6, 1.6A, 1.53, good number. The time for return is 6 years, 9 months, 7 years, 8 months, 8 years, 8 months. So with the worst scenario all the way on the right, we see that the numbers here is still good, and you will get your money back after about 8 years. Let's take a look at scenario 2 and the interest rate of 5.5%. Now keep in mind, if the interest rate is 10%, you're still able to reach equilibrium after 8 years. Then if the rate is better, then of course you will reach equilibrium. The difference is that you will reach it earlier in 4 years, 4 months, 4 years, 11 months, and 5 years, 6 months. Best case scenario here, discount rate is 10%. You will reach equilibrium after 4 years. And the best scenario here is 2.5%. And this tend to be international loans because that's the only way that you will be able to get access to such a low level of interest rates. So let's say you get interest loans, loan interest at 2.5% and discount of 10%. You will reach payback after 3 years, 4 months. So that was the case study, a real case study that we did on a real project in Long An with provided assumptions. for different scenarios of discounts and interest rates. Because of that, we have the following recommendations. First, we see that rooftop is a good investment for investors and for the owners, and therefore we encourage it. And we press again the importance of a legal framework for it, for this from the government, and we see that it's a huge, it brings huge benefit, and the government should not oversee it, overlook it. And next, we see in the last year that the price of everything has increased, materials, equipment, etc. So we hope that in the in the coming time, there will be better management of this. The other comment is that the current development, the current policies of EVN and other government agency is increasing, and therefore it drives the costs up. The cost for project development is going higher. This is an observation that we had. And the next issue is that when we look at different scenarios with different interest rates, and we see that yield is very, very sensitive to interest rates. So we see that if you can get access to better interest rates, then it will have a huge impact on your profits. Now, discount, we are looking at discount of 15%. I think that this is a good number for both the developer and the owner of rooftop system. And the time to pay back will be 7 years to 8 years. And overall, when we look at all of the numbers that was presented here, my view on this is that this is still a very good investment for us. Let me go to the last point, talking about Vatec. Vatec is a consulting, provide engineering consulting services for developers and investors and EPCs, contractors, anyone who needs to be consulted and advised on engineering services, preparing reports for EVN, etc. Those are the capacities that we have and is providing. At a glance, until now, we have consulted 177 projects, big scale projects, mostly solar farms. We have reached 25,000 megawatts. For wind, we mostly work with wind farms, and accumulated capacity that we have consulted is around 12,000 megawatts. Now let's talk about biomass. We worked with 35 projects. Capacity is 70 megawatts. These are a few other numbers that we have in terms of thermal, substation, transmission line. These are projects that we also support and advise for. This is the end of it. I would like to thank all of you for listening to my sharing, and I'd like to send you the best wish for your health and success in this new year. And once again, thank you for spending time with us. Thank the organizer for inviting me. If you have any questions,